Welcome to Mini Stories, where we will be listening to Reddit stories. OP wonders if she's the asshole for pressing charges against her mother-in-law. I'm Filipino and my husband is Chinese. His mom doesn't approve of me from the beginning and even told him that Filipinos are maids only. At the beginning, my husband defended me. He even threatened to cut ties with her if she tries anything. So she backed off. He proposed, and that's where trouble slowly started again. She was not happy. My sister-in-law told me that my mother-in-law didn't expect us to last too long because she expected my husband to come to his senses. She tried to jeopardize our wedding, threatened not to come, even told our guests that there was a typo in our invitation card and gave them the wrong date. Luckily, they reconfirmed it with us. My husband actually waved it off and said that his mom is just scared for him and that I should understand because she grew up in a very traditional home. That should have been my first red flag. But I was too in love with him that I ignored it. I was 8 months pregnant a month ago. My husband insisted on going to mother-in-law house for a family reunion. I didn't want to cause of the human growing in me and too tired cause I was still working. He insisted cause his mom will not take no for an answer. So we went. Biggest regret. At the dinner, I started feeling weird and lightheaded. I told my husband about it, but he waved me off, told me to go up to his old room and lay down. I said this was different, and we should go to the hospital just in case. His mom butted in and told me not to ruin their dinner, just shut up and go upstairs. I gave husband a look and said, "You really gonna let her talk to me like that?" That dickhead just shrugged and told me to calm down. I did not go up. I knew something was wrong. I called my dad to get him to bring me to the hospital. I felt like I was floating, body felt numb and I wanted to puke. I felt like fainting. Dad arrived and I left without letting them know. They didn't care, so why should I? I don't know how else to say this. My baby's heartbeat stopped. I was told the chances at this point of pregnancy was low. But it happened. I was drugged and also had alcohol in my system. But I didn't drink any since I was pregnant and I don't do drugs. Sister-in-law admitted she saw mother-in-law added stuff into my drinks and food later on. My husband refused to believe that and sided with mother-in-law, saying I must have taken something accidentally. Sister-in-law told him what mother-in-law did, but he still don't believe it. Sister-in-law always hated mother-in-law. Hubs was the fave child. I reported it to the police, sister-in-law as my witness. I pressed charges. I will not stop till she's behind bars. I told some of my closest friends about it. They said I'm an asshole for divorcing him. But how can I be with someone who doesn't side with me on this? Who refused to believe his mom is the reason our baby is gone forever? He hasn't even acknowledged that she's gone. All he cares about is clearing his mom's name. I'm devastated. Am I the asshole? Why does some say I am? OP has also provided 2 small comments in her post. The first comment adds some more context. Update, I'm sorry, I can't reply all, so I'll answer a few questions here. Some has asked why sister-in-law didn't tell me that mother-in-law added something to my food and drinks. She came to me after. She was crying, saying she didn't realize at the time and only connect the dots after she found out what happened. She's only 17. And I believe she was really scared going against her mom. As for the toxicology report, there was high levels of fentanyl, opioids, and alcohol. As for my friends who called me an asshole, they are also close to my husband. And they said it was unfair because he also lost a child. I told them he didn't seem to care. They called me an asshole. The second comment is a response to people questioning the specific details of the whole deal. I know I don't have to explain myself to you, but I want to. I won't explain more on the medical concerns because frankly, I do not know anything about it. All I know is what happened to me. Whether you believe it or not is entirely up to you. As for my title, my post was banned due to violence on Am I an Asshole, so I wrote it like this instead. I hope you understand that this is a very sensitive subject. And I did come here and search for some support and make myself feel better. It's a human feeling and I'm sorry if that made you think this is fake. Lastly, I may be a Filipino and he is a Chinese. But that doesn't automatically means we're living in the Philippines or China. I purposely did not disclose my country for privacy reasons. Because if I do, people like you will hunt the article down, which includes my identity along with my family's. I know I'm posting here for all to read, but what makes me feel safe is the animosity of it all. I feel safe because people like you can't find out who I am, which is not any different from majority of people on this app. Again, I know I don't owe you an explanation, but my life has been a living hell and I have no control with anything now. So being able to defend myself like this helps. I have nothing else to say. Have a nice day. Post 2. This is not an update. I'm overwhelmed by all the support I've been getting. Thank you all. I won't lie, but the real reason I decided to post my story was because I did need validation. I wanted to be heard. And I wanted to be in control of something at least. But I did not decided to do this lightly. What happened to me was horrifying and I still can't believe it. Some people are saying I'm not showing enough emotions for this to be real, and that the title I wrote makes them think this is fake, that I should have said my mother-in-law is a baby killer and my husband was an accomplice, so I'm leaving him. I don't understand why I should wrote that for it to be believable. Also, when I previously wrote something similar to that title on another group, my post was banned and deleted for violence. Which I'm not surprised, because what happened to me was violence in one of its cruelest forms. How am I supposed to sound? Some people can't understand that some emotions are too strong and too deep, and cannot be translated into words alone. I may not be kicking and screaming in my post. But I have been kicking and screaming since that night. I lost a child. How can someone make that up? Are people just so far up their own asses that they can't comprehend that bad stuff happens to people? And for those who says those stuff would have killed me, I should not even be alive. I did almost die. I am not gonna write out a detailed account of what happened that night just to appease you. It's not bad enough that my child died? I should have died too, then it would be believable? And you call me the sick F, and for all who is saying that my husband is part of it. I cannot comment on this. Frankly, I do not know yet at this point. I don't want to speculate that he is because that only makes it hurt more. I loved him, and thinking that he'd be capable to do this. Some ask why I didn't taste the alcohol. I didn't. If I knew, I would have stopped drinking. But the moment I felt off, I voiced it out. I was pregnant, some food to me tasted different. I didn't think much of it at that point. I didn't think that my life would ever be in danger. I knew mother-in-law hated me, but I did not know she would ever try something like this. And as for my friends who called me asshole, they are also close to my husband. And till today, the both of them do not believe that my husband did anything wrong and that he is innocent and just caught in his mother's lies and that he lost a child too but is in denial. I don't know how to go about this, so I've decided to cut ties with them. But I do have other amazing friends who has been completely supportive and helping me throughout this. I will not touch any more on sister-in-law as she is a minor. FIL is not in the picture. I will try my best to update you all once this is all over. I'm sorry if my post offended anyone. Final post, this will be my final post. Thank you all for your support. It truly means the world to me. I finally have some time to myself and thought I should give you this It's been the most horrible and excruciating few weeks of my life and it's finally almost over. Ex-mother-in-law couldn't get away thanks to my sister-in-law and the evidence was also found in her house. She finally confessed after a month. She has received the death sentence this morning because what she did is not taken lightly in our country. Her son is claiming he has nothing to do with it and will receive no punishment since there is no proof. I truly don't know if he was involved or not, but I cannot be around him ever again. I have not spoken privately with him since that night, and now I only communicate with him through lawyers. Sister-in-law is currently living with a close relative. She is safe. I know some of you are concerned for her well-being. I am living with my parents again. I honestly couldn't have gotten through this without them. They are truly my rock. Divorce by this week. My family has advised me sue him for everything he and his family has put me through. This was a hate crime. I don't understand how can a grandmother do this just because my baby was a girl and not pure Chinese. I've heard stuff like this happens in China, but we're not living there. Why bring your close-minded ideologies and traditions here? Why did my baby had to pay the price for this? I don't know how people continue life after a loss of a child. Her funeral is next week. I named her Marie Elizabeth. R.I.P. my love. Mama loves you and will see you soon. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe.